All right. Hello. Hello. Let's get this party started, shall we? So, welcome to the Holiday Cravings webinar, How to Survive the Holidays Without Feeling Restricted or Obsessing About Foods. I am so very excited to be sharing this with you today. And I'm ready to get started. Let's go. I do have some notes in front of me, so if you see me looking down, that is why. All right. Okay, are you ready? So we are here because we want to survive the holidays without all the cravings and the obsessing so that you can finally, just enjoy the holidays and have it not derail your whole life. And so it's important for you to give this time to yourself. Put your phone down, close the other tabs, put a do not disturb sign on the door, whatever you need to do to keep those kids and family members and whoever else away just for this short time. Really just, it's rare that we have like undivided attention on something, that we give ourselves that time and put ourselves on the priority list. You will get the most out of this if you are able to just focus for just a little bit of time here. So here's my promise to you today. By the end of this training, you will go from dreading the holidays and obsessing about, am I going to eat the stuff, not eat the stuff, feeling shame about whatever decision you end up making, to understanding the real reasons that you have those cravings and how you can enjoy the holidays, whether or not you have cravings. I'm very excited to share this with you. Does that sound good? I hope so. Just imagine being able to, stop stressing about food, obsessing about food, dealing with cravings, stressing about cravings, and be able to just really trust yourself and trust your decisions and enjoy these holidays. All right. So tell me if you can relate. Are you tired of swearing off sweets over and over again, saying, I'm not eating any of these holiday treats, or flipping to the other side and indulging in treats, but then like a lot of treats, but then not really enjoy them at all and can't even really like remember them and savor them. And then end up feeling guilty or shaming the crap out of yourself because you went off the rails and now you physically feel like crap and emotionally feel like crap and your emotions are a mess. Do you look around at everybody at the holidays and just feel like everyone else can make confident decisions about food and they don't seem stressed about it, and you're the only one? Do you feel out of control? Like there's no way you could possibly, feel a sense of control and a sense of just like freedom, that you can trust yourself to make decisions around food, and that food can be around you and you can just really trust yourself, to know what's best for you. Can you relate to any of these? I know this isn't live, but, if you're nodding your head in agreement, I'm not in your head. I'm not reading your mind. I've been there on all of that. And my clients that I work with have been there on all of that. And I promise that, whatever it is that you have done in the past, whatever it is you plan to do this year, if you're doing it and it's not working, it's not your fault. It's really hard to feel like, you should be able to do it. You know what to do. You should just be able to do it. And if you feel anything like I've felt, I would have done just about anything to get rid of the cravings, get rid of the shame. Nothing that I was doing was working, and that feels terrible. Tell me, which one of these really is your dream? That you would be able to go through the holidays and not have to depend on willpower, that you would just be able to trust your body and trust yourself around all the food, that you could feel safe and confident about whatever choices you made, whether you choose to eat the thing, the pie, the cookies, the whatever, or you choose not to, that you could just feel safe and confident and stop shaming yourself about whatever decision it is that you make. That you could just enjoy the holidays thoroughly without all of this obsessing, without restricting, and just enjoy it. Which one of those for you? Just I want you to think about it. You can write it down if you want. Which one of these is the thing for you that you really want? So before we go any further, I should probably introduce myself officially. I am Abby Lindy. I am a health and willpower coach. I'm the founder of the Willpower Solution. I support clients that feel out of control around food and have cravings and have no willpower to stick to their plan. And I help them so that they can stick to the plan and lose weight and feel energetic and amazing without cravings and without resisting, without battling against themselves constantly. And so I've done all of the trainings. One of the tools I use is a low carb way of eating to help me manage my cravings. In addition to building some systems in my life that I also teach my clients around how to like get on the same team as your body and use my body to help me as opposed to feel like I'm fighting against it. And that is what I share with people. And so it's kind of like now that I've figured out how to deal with my cravings, I've created a program to do that. And I support people in doing that because the softened cravings and the imperfect consistency that I have been able to achieve, it just is very freeing. It feels easier and light. And that's how I want to feel during the holidays. Guessing that that might be how you want to feel too. It hasn't always been like that for me. This is me 6 or 7 years ago. I was deep in the parenting of young kiddos. I was struggling with exhaustion and overwhelm, of course, right? And I was trying to keep up with just like all of the things. I had discovered at this point that the foods that I ate and how I treated my body really affected my energy and weight and motivation really to be able to do the things that I needed to be doing. And wanted to be doing. And so I would, commit to eating quote unquote right, and being perfect because that's what I should do. I knew better and I should do better. Of course, that would end up with me toggling back and forth between sticking perfectly to the plan and then just going completely off the rails. I can remember one time, just kind of like ducking out into the closet, needing some alone time and some quiet time. My drug of choice was cookie dough. And just using that to soothe and cope, comfort food, right? And it was like I couldn't control myself. In my mind, I could logically think like, it's okay. I deserve this. But then I would just feel so guilty for not being able to control myself. And ultimately I would feel exhausted and I would get headaches, because that food physically makes me feel like crap. And if I'm being honest, I could not understand why I couldn't stick to the way of eating that I knew made me feel better. And I knew exactly what I needed to do, but I could not for the life of me make myself do it. Can you relate to that? Oh, maybe you struggle with the same thing or something similar, because I know I'm not the only one that was like doing more harm than good, yo-yoing back and forth, because I thought I was doing all of the right things. So there I was feeling exhausted and overwhelmed and feeling guilty because I couldn't stick to the plan. And then I decided no more of this. I wanted to be able to show up how I wanted to show up. I wanted to enjoy the holidays when the holidays came around. I didn't want to be dragging and exhausted the whole time. And I wanted to be able to show my kids how to do that in a healthy way too. And so I decided I needed to figure out how to overcome cravings and how to overcome this complete lack of willpower, it felt like. I didn't care how long it was going to take me to figure it out. I just needed to do that. And so I made a decision. I was going to figure out how to stick to my food plan and my lifestyle plan without feeling restricted, without demanding perfection, and without spending too much time on it because I had a crazy busy life. And that's when I started the journey that got me to where I am today, here with you, sharing these methods with my clients so that you can skip over the trial and the error and the shame, and the struggle that I went through so that you can get the freedom from cravings and trust in your own body and in your own willpower. that decision all those years ago led to me figuring out what I had been doing for all of those years was really almost completely wrong, all wrong. And I made the decision to like invest the time, money, and energy in myself. If I had not done that, I would probably still be trying to white knuckle it through the holidays and restrict, or just binging on all the things and not getting anywhere and feeling like crap too. So even though I am now able to manage my cravings and stick to my plan, it took years to figure it all out. I kind of had to unlearn all of the things that I thought that I was doing that were the right things, but realized that they were actually opposite. I had to figure out what worked for me personally, not what some random lady on the internet tells me. And it was hard. I remember one day I was working with my own coach and I was talking about how pissed I was at myself that I couldn't stick to my food plan and the holidays were coming up. And I knew it was just going to get worse in the holidays. I had grocery shopped, I had everything I needed, but I just couldn't make myself stick to the plan. And I was exhausted and frustrated. And I remember she asked me, like, what would it look like if it was easy? Like, what if you could just easily avoid your trigger foods? You could easily enjoy when you decide to enjoy, and then easily get right back on track. And at first I was like, well, it's not easy. It's hard. But eventually I was able to actually consider, like, what would it look like if it was easy? How would a person that this was easy for, how would they act and behave? What would they choose to do? And honestly, when I was actually able to crack open my mind, it like changed everything for me. It took a lot of time and a lot of patience, and there was no way I could have arrived at the willpower solution without having invested in both the professional training that I did and having an expert outside of my brain helping me look at my own brain to help me get this breakthrough. But I was fully committed to figuring it out, and I was not going back to my old ways. What I discovered through all of the trial and error was that it wasn't that I had no willpower or that I wasn't strong enough to like lock it down through the holidays, but I discovered that there were very logical reasons why I was having cravings and why I couldn't stick to the plan. I found out for me that I had majorly erratic blood sugar, a gut microbiome that was just demanding carbohydrates, and no plan to handle the cravings when they arose, and no other coping strategies to deal with the stress that I had in my life, especially during the holidays. And once I started to address my brain and my emotions and my blood sugar and my gut, everything changed. And I want to share how I did all of that with you so that you can skip over all of that during the holidays too. Because there is a simpler way to get control of the cravings and achieve that sense of freedom and joy that you've been dreaming of for the holidays. So before we dive into the big three concepts, I want to share a short case study with you because I think it's important to see what real success looks like so that you can ground yourself in the knowing that it's possible for you too. So I've been working with clients for the last 6 years or so. Oops. And this is Natasha. She is a busy lady. She is a mom and a business owner, works full time. And one of the things that she really got out of working with me was like being able to incorporate some of these skills into real life, being able to, not have to be perfect all the time, but to be able to think about it, make decisions about what would the holidays look like if it was perfect? Like I'd be able to enjoy the cookies and the pies and then get right back on track, fully enjoy, no shame, and get back on track, right? And just being able to like focus on like what are the important things to do during the holidays that like help to mitigate some of the effects of all the cookies and the treats, right? And so just like to share that because I think it's important to see when being able to know why you're having the cravings, that it's not your fault, putting a system in place like she did, and having the support to like figure it out and stick to it long term. If this is something that you'd like to achieve during the holidays, make sure to hit me up. All right. So, and hopefully I'll share some of that today during the webinar for you. Okay, let's actually get started here. So, number one, willpower can never work long-term to battle cravings, especially during the holidays, right? And I know it's tempting to just say, well, I just need to try harder during the holidays. I know what to do. I just have never been able to do it, right? I just need more willpower and self-control, maybe. And I get it, because that was literally me saying that too. I had all the degrees and all the certifications and all the things, and I should have been able to just eat good foods, right? I should have had the willpower to do what I wanted, and I should have been able to battle and be stronger than my cravings. And I tried hard. I tried hard. Can anyone relate to that? Can you relate to that feeling of battling and fighting and resisting to try to stay strong, to overcome the weakness, and just telling myself over and over again, I can do this. I can do this. But then just saying, oh, well, it's the holidays, so just giving up 3 months of off the rails, and then feeling like crap physically and mentally and emotionally. Yep, been there, done that. So here's the deal. Remember when I said it's not your fault? This isn't really a very holidays picture. But here's the thing. Cravings, even during the holidays, are there for a reason. Hunger is there for a reason. Sometimes we don't necessarily agree or like the reason, but your body is providing that to you in an attempt to communicate something. We don't need to dig too deep into the science right at this moment. But when you eat the processed sugary foods, you grow a gut microbiome that loves, guess what? Processed sugary foods. So when you try to stop or try to resist, those microbes are literally demanding that sugary goodness. They're very persuasive, and it's actually the way the body is supposed to be working. Also, when you eat those foods, your blood sugar responds. And not just in response to eating, but in response to stress and emotions, right? And your blood sugar responds appropriately by going up and then coming right back down quickly. And your body gives you this craving to prevent it from going too low, which is great. That's, again, how your body is supposed to be working. That saves you. The other thing that happens is indulging in these treats actually functions as a very useful, sometimes, coping mechanisms. Comfort foods, right? People use them because they kind of work. And it's really, for many of us, the only skill that we have for coping. And so our body becomes dependent on this pattern. And that's okay, right? Sometimes, like, that's okay. There is a way to use that effectively for coping. But most of us just do it unconsciously. And what about like the habits and the traditions during the holidays that are often tied right into foods, right? It really does bring us a sense of joy and connectedness and relationship during the holidays when we eat those foods that only come around on the holidays. And it would be just lovely, if you want to be able to enjoy those without having it send you on a 3-month-long binge, right? That really derails you from your goals, whether that's health goals or life goals, and really just being able to feel the best that you can feel. And so when we have all of these things, these very logical, reasonable physical things happening in our bodies, demanding these foods, it's no wonder that when we try harder or resist or battle or white knuckle, that we lose, right? And it feels like we lose every time. Eventually, the way that I actually like to think of this is, what if the body is just always winning? And if we could get on the same team as our body, maybe that would change things. So when we shame ourselves for failing to win against our bodies, right? It just doesn't work. Have you ever tried using shame and shoulds to get yourself to change. Honestly, this was my only strategy for years and years and years. And you might not be doing this on purpose, but telling yourself you should be able to stick to this, even during the holidays. You should be able to, stick to the plan, or you should be able to eat whatever you want and get right on track. And it should be easier. You should have stronger willpower. These shoulds, all of these shoulds, and I'm emphasizing that, they're very shaming. Demanding stronger willpower to battle against your own body in and of itself is a shaming act. Just consider, what if you could trust your own body? Wouldn't that just be wild? I remember I mentioned when I was kind of first starting to explore this idea, and I remember thinking, shame. And that's the only way that I know to try to motivate myself. It really feels like it should work, right? Demanding, you should be able to try harder and have stronger willpower, and it should just work. If I tell myself to just stop being so weak and do it, if I was strong enough, I could just do it. Can you relate to any of those thoughts? Oh, and if only those worked, but they just don't work, and they especially don't work during holidays. So if that is the plan that you intended on using, I ask you to just consider another way. Okay, number 2, the beliefs that you have are keeping you from overcoming these cravings. So number 1, the beliefs that you have are super, super important. If you believe that you have no willpower, then you don't. If you believe that you're going to go off the rails for 3 months over the holidays, then you will. What's the saying is, if you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. Essentially, what you believe is what you do and act and behave. So again, just an invitation to look at those beliefs and have some openness around them. So the first one I have here, I know what to do, I just can't do it. I can't even count the number of times that I've said this out loud. It's super shamey. It means I clearly am just incapable of sticking to this over the holidays. I'm unworthy of being able to enjoy the holidays and not obsess about foods, obviously. But here's the deal, right? There is a big difference between knowing and doing, right? You can know that certain foods make you feel like crap and that certain foods give you a stomachache. And you can know this in your brain, but your body might not remember that. And it might demand that you eat those things. If you are a person that knows what you should be doing and just can't do it, it just means you need practice doing it in a way that removes the shame. And you probably, if you're like me, need some accountability from someone that isn't going to shame you also. Knowing what to do is actually a great first step. So celebrate that. Next one. I've never been able to do the holidays right? I've never been able to really enjoy the holidays because I'm constantly obsessing about it or shaming myself for how I am, eating. So it kind of ties into the first belief as well. It's this idea that I know what to do, but I've never been able to actually stick to it. So therefore, I may as well just throw in the towel, right? Which totally is an option. And if you want to have a different belief about the holidays, that's possible too. I just have no willpower on a regular day. So therefore the holidays are, who cares? This I have no willpower was my mantra for years and years and years. And it was, I guess it's the opposite of a mantra, right? I just was so embarrassed that I felt like I had no willpower and no self-control because for the life of me, I could not stick to the food plan. I could not stick to the habits that I wanted to be doing, that I knew gave me the energy and allowed me to be the mom and wife and human that I wanted to be. And at the time, I had kind of given up trying, and I felt like it was a waste of time. Like, why even try to stick through it during the holidays? And I was exhausted. I was eating food-like substances, sugary foods, because I was just so ashamed that I couldn't do it right. I think it was almost 8 years that I believed that I legitimately had no willpower, and I was convinced. Thank goodness I kept trying and using the processes that I figured out in the willpower solution. I've been able to soften and prevent the cravings even during the holidays, and feel super confident that I can make decisions about my cravings and handle them as they arrive during the holidays, without all of the angst and the stress that often has come along with it. Well, I know I can't stick to it perfectly during the holidays, so I might as well just go off the rails, right? Oh, perfection is just so alluring sometimes, right? It seems like it should be the ideal. We should be able to just stick to the perfect script during the holidays. And that's what we should aim for. And if we can't do it, then don't even try, right? And it sets us up for failure, and it's so disappointing. What if the real ideal was imperfect consistency with what makes you feel good and what helps you enjoy the holidays thoroughly without the guilt and without the shame? If you are the kind of person, tough love moment, the kind of person that really demands perfection of yourself and thinks that that's the way that it needs to be, I would ask you, because I had to ask myself this, like, how is that actually working? It seems like it should work, but how is it actually working for you? Okay, last, I shouldn't spend time and money on myself. It's selfish. It doesn't work anyways. The holidays are crazy. I don't have time or money or energy to deal with it, right? Like, I'm not sure if this is a mom thing, especially during the holidays, worrying about everybody else and making the holidays perfect for everybody else, but not spending time and energy and money on making sure that, like, we get to have a holidays that we want also. I think it's changing a little. I think I'm seeing a shift change a little bit, at least kind of in the like zeitgeist and the culture. And it really is like that oxygen mask, right? Like, we can give and give and give, but if we don't put our own oxygen mask on, we really can't fulfill our promises to others, because we haven't fulfilled our promise to take care of ourselves either. Okay, so those are 5 beliefs. Can you relate to any of them? I can relate to all of them. It was a really big realization for me, just understanding that the beliefs I have, the beliefs that I have about the holidays and what the holidays mean and what I need to do and the expectations, like, my beliefs about that matter, and they impact what this season is going to look like for me, and it will impact what the season looks like for you too. All right, so the last one, enjoying the holidays fully is literally impossible until you have the right system in place to be able to support yourself and have the right beliefs, or have beliefs that support how you want the holidays to go for you. And that's a personal thing, right? That's not about me telling you how your holidays should be. That's not what this is. If you heard that message, that's not it. It's about, like, what does enjoying the holidays even mean for you? And what are you putting in place to support that? So, in my opinion, figuring out the root causes of your cravings and the root causes of the angst and the stress and the disappointment during the holidays is number 1. You have got to have clarity about what it is that you want and what it is that's getting in the way of you getting that. Then you need to be able to put You need to be able to address some of those root causes, right? And soften those cravings so that you are not like being driven by these urges and these cravings and these desires without being able to have like logical thought processes about it. And having a really clear, super clear process in place so that you know what you're going to do when you have a craving, when you want to eat the pie, when you want to eat the cookie, having something in place so that you know exactly what to do in that situation and you can feel confident that and trust yourself. And that it adds to the enjoyment of your holidays and not subtracts from the enjoyment of your holidays. Another key component is reframing the mindset and the beliefs, right? Away from shaming and away from shoulding and into supportive and useful mindsets that help you to take care of yourself and enjoy the holidays at the same time. I do believe that a coach to help you look at your beliefs and look at your root causes and get that clarity and help you, see that self-sabotage that happens and see the things that get in the way when we try to make these changes, and we're starting over every Monday or saying, okay, well, I'm just giving up for the next 3 months and I'll start over in January, right? To be able to see some of those thoughts and get support around that, because like that can be really hard and really painful. And a coach that can help you look at that without shaming, I think is key. It has been for me. And that kind of ties into accountability, right? Having someone that cares about you and wants the best for you and wants you to be able to fully enjoy the holidays and fully feel like you're taking care of yourself at the same time. Okay, so that's it. Let's do a quick review. Number one, willpower doesn't work long-term. It just doesn't. And it's probably the only tool you've used during the holidays to manage either willpower or just deciding not to care. Going completely off the rails, right? Number two, beliefs. The beliefs that you have are keeping you from overcoming your cravings, and they are keeping you from enjoying the holidays without the obsessing, without the restricting. Lastly, enjoying the holidays is impossible, I do believe, without a system in place and without putting some things into place as we move through this time. So you showed up today because you want to be able to stick to your plan, even during the holidays. You want to stop battling against your own body, and you want to stop feeling out of control around food. You want to get control of your cravings, and you want to get to, be at a healthy weight with ease and stay there and enjoy all of this while enjoying the holidays too. And so I promised that at the end of this training, you would stop dreading the holidays and you would understand the reasons why you have cravings and how you can enjoy the holidays. And so I showed you all of the things that you needed in place to be able to fully enjoy the holidays. And maybe you can't get them all in place for this holidays, but something to work on for next holidays, if not, right? We all have big, busy lives, and the holidays are always crazy. And we all, have goals. And I'm confident that if I can do it, if my clients can do it, you can do it too. And I know that I shared with you that as long as you have some of these pieces of a plan in place and you're crystal clear about why you have cravings in the first place, then you can get there too. So my question is, would you like me to help you finally be able to enjoy the holidays, to stick to your plan and enjoy the holidays? Is that something that you would like help with? It really is your choice. You can keep battling your body, planning on white knuckling it through the holidays, or feeling like your body is working against you all the time, or you can get on the same team as your body, build that trust with yourself, and really know that you're on the same team as your body and you really can enjoy the holidays while taking care of yourself too. The choice is yours. Throughout the webinar, you heard me mention the willpower solution, and that this is how I can help women that are trying to get back on the same teams as their body and stick to their plan, but enjoy life and the holidays at the same time. And so I will share some information about how I can actually help you start putting some of those pieces that I talked about in place. And so I'm excited to be able to share this with you, because the best way that I can help you is by personally supporting each of you. What I've done is I've set time aside over the next actually couple weeks here as the holidays start kicking off to speak with you personally about how I can support you to apply what we talked about today so that you can get this sense of freedom and start to enjoy the holidays and enjoy yourself in the new year. And I do that with a call called a clarity call. It's a 45-minute call where you will just get crystal clear and you will gain the confidence, because you'll be able to see what is getting in the way of you having clarity and having a plan and sticking to a plan and being able to feel that sense of accomplishment and that freedom when you have that framework in place. You will leave the call thinking, how is this call free? You should be charging for this. I'm certainly not the only one in the behavior change world. There are lots of other people doing that, which is great. What I'm best at is helping women who have cravings, who cannot stick to their plan, who don't know how to actually enjoy an indulgence and get back on track, and get back on the same team as their bodies. So this is what it looks like when you go to the link. You can just click on a time. If there is not a time that works for you, send me a direct message and we can work to find a time that does work for you. I will help you find out what the personal blocks that you have, whether it's around weight loss, whether it's around sticking to your plan, and help you discover whether freedom from cravings, freedom from obsessing about food during the holidays is possible for you. And reminder, it is 100% free. You might be thinking, like, is there a reason why? There's got to be a catch, right? How can this be free? You just told me all the ways that the call is going to help me. And to be honest, the call is free because it is my mission in life. The mission of my business is to support other women and finally stop shaming themselves, finally stick to their plan while enjoying their life. That doesn't involve restriction, that doesn't involve white knuckling it. And I just have a core value in my business where I offer value first. And I start off just by helping you get that clarity with this webinar and with the call. And I know that I can help you overcome some of these barriers in a very short time that have been stopping you from achieving what you really want in life. And I know that there are many of you listening that may want more personalized support that I also can offer. And if after talking, I can see how my program or working with me would support you and it would meet the needs that you have, then I'll offer that to you. And I'll tell you more about it if you're a good fit and if I'm a good fit for you. And if not, I will point you in the direction of what I think will help you. Either way, we part as friends and we can stay in contact. There is one catch, I suppose. If you are looking for like a magic pill or a magic button or some way to get super restrictive and super 100% adherence to a diet, then this call is not for you. Okay. It's not for you if you're like, I don't have a problem sticking to the plan. I can have just one bite of something and it doesn't trigger me. If you're the kind of person who can just decide to change and then change for 3 years, the call is not for you then. If you're not open to new ways and new experiences, and if you're not committed to finding the right plan for you individually, then the call is not for you. It is for you if you have cravings that feel out of control, if you're trying to stick to some new habits. You know what to do, but you know you just can't do it during the holidays or ever. You're willing to consider new things and new ways, and you're willing to learn to be a little bit more compassionate with yourself and not use perfection and not use shame as your tool. So again, if this is you, if you are wanting to finally learn how to stick to your plan and enjoy the holidays at the same time, book a call. There you have the link. If not, please reach out to me. I know that what I teach works. I've shown you an example at the beginning of the training, and my clients were committed to their goals, and they succeeded. And I know that if they can do it, you can do it too. And the first step is to schedule a call. So thank you. If you're someone who needs some support and needs some accountability, and you want to get on the phone with me, it's not a call center. You have the link, schedule a call. I know I can help you get that clarity and get off on the right foot as we roll into the holiday season. So thank you so much for being on here with me, and I look forward to connecting with you. Have an amazing day and an amazing holiday.